How many teachers did you all start with at the beginning?
The first year you had a math and science teacher. You had an English teacher. You had you doing social studies and PE. There was somebody else who taught girls PE. So there were not a whole lot. Maybe there were 5.
Yeah.
Well, counting Dr. Ferris
Right.
and Jean Rusk. With an administration, there were probably 6 of you. But you need to remember that they started with 20-some kids, and all the sophomores, except for 2, decided this semester that it was too small a school for them, so they quit. So we had 12 the second semester of the first year. And to me, it's just amazing that we still went.
The Lord wanted the school to be, so it was.
I walked on the Bethany campus. There was a room with Mrs. Russ as the receptionist, and that was it.
That was.
And they said, well, you have no books, you have no sports equipment, and you have, another thing that we didn't have, which was most everything we didn't have. We had to start from zero.
Everything.
We were a startup school. So I called Phoenix Union and I asked them, do you have any books that you're phasing out, getting rid of, or dumping? And they said, we do. So I had my first social studies book and history book came from Phoenix Union warehouse, that the books were ready to go. And
Awesome.
the sports equipment, little by little, we acquired with the help of many parents.
There are 7 of them I just counted that are here. And I since this is the 40th anniversary, I just want to comment on one thing. I think one of the most amazing things that God did was that in the first 10 years or so of the school, we had the most amazing group of teachers. Mr. Brooke, Mr. Kuiper, Mrs. Merrill, Mrs. Meehan, Mrs. Templeton, Mrs. Yarbrough, Mr. Hogsma, also Mr. Timmer, Mr. Barnes, and
Mr. Nelson.
And Mr. Nelson, and I guess Mr. Shanaker towards the end of it. But those 10 people are, in my view, the reason that this school succeeded to the extraordinary measure that it has. And if you add up the years that those 10 served, it's somewhere north of 300 years total. And I really believe, because teachers are what make the difference. And I think that's why this school has succeeded, is those 10 more or less teachers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think one of the funny things about the trains was when we would have chapel speakers. And of course the teachers would know there's this train coming and the whole building shakes. And you just kind of pause in the middle of your sentence and then the train goes by and then you continue where you left off. But chapel speakers didn't always do that. And they'd be looking around going, what's going on? It's okay, just wait.
It's the rapture. Fear not.
I think 1986, the first graduation would be what I would consider.
Those kids had no idea how to plan a graduation because they were the first.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it was probably bare bones.
15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15
Graduation.
minutes.
And that included two speakers.
Was that at Palm Lake?
No, it was in the
No,
chapel.
it was in the chapel.
Bill Scott, Sean got up and gave his speech, and Sonia got up and gave her speech, and we passed out the diplomas, and it was over.
I've never been to anything like that.
And you made sure it never happened again.
To me, those 82, 83, 84, those classes are the original stakeholders, I believe.
I love the way Mary Ann Heim, she's always reminding me, she keeps saying, we stand on your shoulders. And I think about that with those early students too. We stand on their shoulders and their parents' shoulders because they trusted us enough to allow us to educate their kids.
And I just think about the move to this campus
And I guess I go to years like 2 through 4 and just the quick growth that we had, because, you know, we all have really, really good memories of the Price campus, but this place brought us to legitimacy.
Yeah.
And to a lot of families that were excited about Christian education, but really wanted their kids to go to a school, this was a school.
The Hall of Fame coaches.
Yep.
Amen.
For Chandler Sports Hall of Fame and for
How many
for
coaches?
the National Hall of Fame coach next to me. But we have
And next to him.
Mrs. Anglin, Mr. Timmer, Mr. Kuiper, Mr. Oxbow.
And you, right?
Well,
And you.
not as an athletic director.
Yeah, but still, you're part of the Hall of Fame.
Right.
That's
Counts, man.
Five.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
I had all 5 of them, so I'm lucky.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Remember that I came after Greg, and my first time here was at the Price Road campus of 3 years before we moved over here. And I remember just this pioneering spirit when I came on campus, because the buildings were kind of a wreck and there was duct tape on the carpet, and I was teaching speech, and I can remember at the beginning of the year I would have to say, now be careful of this spot right here, because when you walk up to give your speech, you're going to trip over it if you're not paying attention, and that used to happen sometimes. But I just remember this spirit of, well, we don't have a theater, but let's use this mall, or we don't have a basketball gym, so we're going to go bus to one. And it was just this spirit of, we love it here and we love having a Christian education, so we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that our kids have the greatest experience. And I remember at that time thinking, when my kids grow up, because they were only 2 years old and 6 years old at the time when I first came, I want them to go to this school. And they both graduated from here, and now they're in missions. And so it's just such a great legacy for them to know that they have come from this school.